Hello, this is Chris Bratt from Eurogamer, joined by Mariina, Hallikainen. I think I said your name better than I did last time we met.
It went perfectly. Thank
you.
Excellent.
We're taking a look at the Natural Disasters expansion for Cities Skylines. And this is part of that. This is a scenario, right?
Yeah, so I have made we have made at Colossal a very custom scenario just for you guys to kind of see how...
Is it for the natural disasters by any chance?
It is for the natural disasters because we want to showcase those, and it's going to be rather intense.
Okay, cool.
So we better go over a little bit like what kind of disasters there might be appearing, but the cool feature with natural disasters is that you can of course call upon those at will.
Right. So like when you showed this to us last time, we only knew about the Meteor strike.
Yeah.
I'm seeing things that aren't Meteor strikes right there.
Yeah. So basically, we will have 7 different disasters. So tornado, which is not fully implemented yet, so we're not going to be seeing that one.
All right.
There's an earthquake, sinkholes, thunderstorm. Then we have different kind of fires. We have forest fire and building fire.
Right.
So the change for the previous is that it actually spreads. The fire can spread from building to building, so it's kind of straining on your fire department. Then we have a tsunami and the meteor strike that we have shown before. So now, because I made 2 scenarios and I can't exactly remember what's going to happen here, it's going to be very exciting for us.
Okay, cool.
So some disasters will happen in this our little town here. So we should first check what kind of like preventive measures we have. So if we go see. In the emergency services, this used to be just a fire department, but now we call it the emergency services because it also has the disaster-related ones.
So which services are those then? Oh, okay, so like a response unit deals with all of them, sort of.
Yeah, so basically the disaster response unit is here to make sure that if there's any buildings that have collapsed, they will go and basically check if there's any survivors there. So we definitely want to have one of the disaster response units in the city.
So if you have natural disasters turned on during your campaign, you're almost always going to want one of these, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So it's one of those things that will basically help out a lot with the aftermath.
There are a few different ways that the disasters can work. You said you can call upon them at will if you're crazy and want to do that.
Yeah.
Or if you're about to like turn off your PC and you just fancy blowing something up first. There's also like you can just have them appear randomly during
in the sandbox play. Like basically, if you're not in a scenario, you can just have random disasters on, and you can adjust the likelihood of them. So if you want to have more of them appearing, that's possible, or then maybe just a few every once in a while.
And then finally, as we're going to see in this is like a custom-built scenario. So at certain points, something will definitely appear.
Yeah, exactly. And some events will trigger other events to happen. So this has been made with the scenario editor, which is coming as a free update for all the players with natural
People like that you did that, by the way. Good job. The scenario free update is a nice move on behalf of the community.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what the guys will come up with, because that's just the coolest thing. I mean, we have so many mods for the game already, and we just, could have some more.
I think you might. So there's also emergency shelters. So this is if someone is found alive in the building, they need somewhere to go.
This is basically for preventing casualties. So because if you know that something is happening, you can actually evacuate people to the shelters. So we have 15,000 people living in the city. There's large emergency shelter which can basically have 10,000 people in it. Or then we can have the smaller ones. And we're just going to place a couple of the smaller ones. And
is the game actually tracking where the individual people will be during that then? So obviously, like usually there's the house that they go to when they're not at work.
Yeah.
The game will know that they've gone to that emergency shelter whilst the house is being repaired.
So basically you can call the people or evacuate the people to the emergency shelter. So this basically means that you're saving lives.
Sure.
Because if there's buildings collapsing and a disaster happening, it means that some people will basically lose their lives. So you can actually try to save them. So we're just going to place the small emergency shelter here, and you can see with the green like what kind of reach does it have that people will actually get there with
So it's not just a case of putting like loads of large emergency shelters in one part of the city. You need to sort of spread it out so people can actually get there in the first place.
Yeah, that usually helps a lot. And for demo purposes, I'm going to place the other one over here because these are pretty cool with emergency shelters. You can actually basically have evacuation routes. So from here, because it doesn't cover the entire area,
sure,
you can actually place the buses to go around the city and cool. evacuate people through that. So we're just gonna check a little bit like different areas. So from the closer area, we already know that people are being evacuated. But, do you have any idea where some of these disasters are going to land? I honestly can't remember. So.
I think this is your first demo of the day as well, so like later on you probably will be able to remember.
But it will be funny because I can always switch to the other demo and then be exactly as clueless as I am cool. now. So that's part of the fun with the scenarios. So we're just gonna place evacuation routes so that we have people being picked up.
Is that affecting happiness as well at the same time?
Yeah, of course. People
like,
are
thank you for doing that.
Yeah, exactly. In case something
really
happens.
bad happens.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just gonna complete the line over there. And where is it?
So are there sort of unique emergency vehicles here, or is this like taking over from public transport? Or
yeah, so basically these are the evacuation buses, so they look different from normal ones. So we have an evacuation route here, and then we had the other one that we can also, let's see if it works. And let's see from here. So we did place the other shelter. And from here, we can also do the same thing for it. But the idea definitely is that you basically cover pretty much the entire city area. With, and you can also, when the emergency shelters are being used, people from nearby will actually walk there or drive their cars there, but the more like the areas which is not in the very close area of the shelter, you want the buses to basically pick up the citizens
like
there.
Your program has had some fun with this.
Yeah, this is one of those things. Like we've seen so many disaster movies that this is actually quite fun. So that's basically trying to prevent the casualties.
Sure.
Placing these, and then we have different services to help actually notice the different disasters.
Okay.
So, for example, deep space radar will be very handy if you suspect that there's a meteor strike happening.
Right.
So we're gonna place.
And you just need one of these per
this is so powerful that you only need one of these in the city, and it will basically help. To figure out that if there's a meteor strike appearing or happening, this will basically warn you beforehand.
How much kind of time do you tend to get with the warning?
That hasn't been fully balanced yet, so we're going to have to see a little bit. We're still in development, but it's going to be so that you will have basically time to evacuate pretty much the entire city, of course, depending on the size of the city. But soon we will see how that actually affects. And but for each of the different disaster types, we have different warning. So there's a radio mast, which is basically because we have this siren that will basically warn people that if any disaster is happening. So if you want to basically emphasize that people will start to go to the shelters, you can have a radio mast. You have two different sizes of those for different sizes of cities. You have earthquake sensor. Then there's the warning. I don't know how to actually buoy.
I think so. Yeah.
yeah, that has caused me quite a lot of headache, being like not a native English speaker. So.
I like that everyone in the room looked around then just to make sure.
Yeah, it's like, how was that? Yeah. So you can have that to warn of tsunamis. Then there's a weather radar if there's thunderstorm appearing.
Sure.
And then there was the deep space radar, but you can only have one of those, so that has already been built. So those are pretty much the ones. So I think what we could still place is the radio mast to make sure that, and you can see the area, so it almost covers the entire. So let's just see where to place it.
So if you have a radio mast, does that mean that the evacuation will start automatically if a warning is received, or how does that?
This will basically, you can see the surrounding area that
people are really into radio masts.
Yeah, it's like finally we have this. Yeah, so, but let's see if we can actually get ourselves a disaster happening. So we have now placed, and it's without water, so let's make sure that we have our different services covered.
Everything else looks okay, I think, right?
Yeah, it does look like it's okay, so I think everything is covered. So we're basically ready to see what kind of mayhem.
So does this scenario have an objective, or is this just so you can show off the disasters for the purpose of the demo?
Yeah, all of the scenarios have objectives, and you can see it in the milestone menu.
Oh yeah.
So we have goals here. So to win the game, you're gonna have to have 2.5 million money. Mm-hmm. So we're not quite there yet. And to lose the game, you basically have to go to minus on the budget, mm-hmm. or then actually lose all of your citizens.
Okay. So really, this is just about surviving the disasters whilst also being able to have an economy that works.
Yeah, exactly. And now we have a little bit of rain here.
So the scenarios feels like a really substantial update. Just because it allows players to create their own and also share them via the Steam Workshop, right? Yeah,
exactly. So basically you can create as many scenarios as you want, and you can start with an empty map or ready-built city. And just if you own the Natural Disasters expansion, you can place the disasters mm-hmm. there. If you don't, you have a lot of different goals and winning and losing conditions that you can actually set for the scenario.
Have you seen any internally any interesting scenarios that you've created? What's an interesting objective to set for a player?
Well, for me, I absolutely love this scenario because this is a complete mayhem. But I'm all about destroying the city. But there's also a lot of things for example, related to public transportation, for example, sure. Tourists, getting certain amount of those to the city, surviving certain type of also opposite things, kind of trying to do as poorly as possible.
Oh, okay,
and
right, cool.
If you succeed too well.
Oh, hang on.
Okay, so Meteor, size of 10 severity is about to hit the city.
Is that a bad? Oh god.
So there we go.
You didn't press the evacuate button.
I know, I failed there big time.
You built a satellite just for this purpose.
Yeah, exactly. And then I missed it because I am not the best player out there. Okay. And so basically what we saw here is the meteor hit the city. It left a crater and fires around the city. So what I need to now make sure of is that I actually have the fire department, and we're basically going to very quickly place the helicopter one. So this has the fire helicopters that will be able to actually reach. Oh, those ones
areas that go to a nearby source of water, pick it up, and then
come back, they will be putting down the fires.
That's cool.
Over here. So because the fire spread, so we have to kind of act quickly.
Is that crater a permanent fixture now?
It's gonna stay there unless you do something about it. So with the landscaping tools, you can actually try to kind of even it out a little bit, or then you can just build over it, or make it a landmark, or basically however you want to.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's just add some trees around it, and be happy. And kind of a memorial type of thing. And there will be unique buildings, kind of fitting to these. So it's gonna be a lot of things to.
It looks like your water network was was hit pretty hard.
that definitely happened. So we have to make sure that we can actually recover from this one. So, but I'm thinking that it actually was caused by another meteor strike that we actually missed. And now we are getting a sinkhole somewhere.
Oh god.
Okay,
press the button.
Yeah, exactly. We need to start evacuating because I think we're gonna have plenty of casualties. And the camera shake is something that kind of, when there's an earthquake or something like that, it basically, as you can see, now we have an earthquake over here. And this is something that you can turn on or off. It's just to kind of
the screen shake.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the other meteor that we missed, did that hit like the sewage plant or something?
And there was a dam. So we're now basically also gonna have obviously a flood here.
So that's the advantage of a scenario, right? Because in a sandbox game, it's random, but
yeah,
the
you
scenario,
don't know where
you've built a city and then specifically said, I'm going to hit this important thing over here.
Yeah, this would have been cool to see on camera, I have to say.
Listen, it was all very hectic.
Yeah, exactly. This is like the worst city ever. They get all the possible disasters. They're being hit hard this time.
So how bad was the earthquake? It looks like...
Yeah, so over here it basically took down quite a few buildings. You can see the rubble and destroyed roads, and there's an actual like.
Is that the fault line or something, or like?
Yeah, so basically over here the ground has cracked, and so this was pretty bad.
There's going to be a lot of landscaping at the end of this.
Yeah, exactly. Like how to recover from this one. But luckily, at least most of the fires have been. We still have a couple of here, but
is that the helicopter?
The helicopters are working tirelessly to put down the fires. And over here you can see the disaster response unit. So they are actually searching for the survivors. And after they have cleared the area, these will be able to be rebuilt if there's a road connection and all that. But I have to say that this area is not looking too.
It's not looking great.
It's not looking great at the moment.
I do really like the crater though. I think you should keep that as a landmark.
Yeah. And so basically over here, you can now, during the daylight, see kind of the damage caused by the earthquake.
Oh,
so
man.
we have quite a lot of things to figure out. And over here with basically we are now having a problem that the bridge has been taken down. Yeah. So basically we're gonna start by trying to...
So I guess actually the challenge of this scenario is trying to fix everything without using all of your money because it's pretty expensive.
Pretty much. And now let's see if this one is... We repair that one. So now we have people being able to move again because you can see the... and we have a little bit of water that...
I don't know why anyone's driving towards this city.
It's poor judgment, I have to say. Yeah, exactly. But let's see. So water first. We have to make sure that they have water. But now the meteor actually destroyed all of our water outlets. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna actually have to build new ones. And I'm gonna try and be smart about it. And that's not a good spot. But let's build a few here. And hopefully we can get this thing going so that. And also,
man, when anything goes wrong in Cities Skylines, it's the most stressful thing just because of all of those pop-ups. It's like I'm trying to fix it. Just give me a second.
Yeah, exactly. It's like calm down, people, calm down. But if you get too upset with them, just call upon a meteor strike and they will shut up, at least for a while. So let's see. This one is not connected at the moment, so let's make.
If you're honest, did you guys always know that you were going to do this expansion? Because it feels
yes,
disasters
we did. Definitely
must have been high up on the list.
I mean, it was one of those things that when we were making the base game, we had limited resources and weren't able to actually have everything we wanted there, and disasters was definitely something that
Cities Skylines blew up and became a huge success.
Yeah, and gave us opportunities. So it's really fantastic, and I think this has been one of the things that people have been most asking for after the release. So I'm very happy
100%.
that we get to finally work on it. And I think it will definitely be one of those expansions that some people will absolutely love it, and some people don't understand why would you ever do this to your city.
Yeah, I think that's why I was pleased to see the scenarios coming like directly alongside it, because there's something there for people even if they aren't as interested in blowing everything up and making big holes all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see a little bit. So here is a sinkhole. So this happened as well. So sinkholes basically are huge holes on the ground, and this has basically sucked the couple of the buildings.
That looks relatively
down.
tame compared to like some of the other stuff that's happened.
Yeah,
in this,
it's true. It's
I'll
like,
take a couple of sinkholes. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly. So they'll do just fine. And so basically now it's a little bit like, what do you want to actually do with these different? I mean, there is the crater, so we might as well just try and enjoy it by maybe just making it into a cool resort.
Wow.
It's like it's not that bad.
That's
it's
definitely
going
to convince the local population.
Yeah,
Everything's
exactly.
fine. There's some trees now.
There's nothing to worry about. And it's.
I really think you fixed it there, honestly.
It's so much better now. So nothing to worry about. And of course, with the landscaping tool, you can basically try and smoothen it out a bit. But of course, it is relatively costly if you try to like work everything there. But you can also basically try and also build somehow like smoothly. Let's see if we need to repair a couple of the roads here. They are all damaged. So
yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah. And then just like, it's gonna be fine. Let's see.
Oh God.
It needs a bridge there. This is gonna be the smoothest road ever. It's beautiful,
That is amazing. That is absolutely amazing.
So, and now I think we might have something else happening soon. So we can see a lot of dead people, but it's one of those things that after starting to repair everything, people will start to basically move back, and it's recoverable.
Is there much in the terms of like long-term impacts, or other than the fact that like a crater will be left or something?
Yeah, so basically these are like in a sense kind of a shorter term, but of course you need to repair the roads, see that people move back to the city. Like we have a lot of like problems here in terms of collapsed buildings, and just basically trying to repair the area so that people will want to move back here.
Sure.
So I don't think my couple of palm trees work.
More than anything.
Yeah, and what we have completely forgotten about, that we have actually evacuated our citizens, and they are still stuck in the emergency shelter, and they have a certain amount of power, food, and water.
Right.
And basically, I think it's safe to release the citizens now. They can go and check if they should get back to their homes and see what the damage is like. So
it's fine. There are some palm trees. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. You'll do just fine. And we'll see. But let's put a little bit of more. I think there might be still something else coming, if I remember correctly, and it's probably the coolest thing.
Oh really?
Yeah. So we're gonna have to like just chat a little bit more and wait for it to happen.
Is it? So you said the tornado isn't fully implemented yet?
Yeah, unfortunately the tornado is not something we can show yet, but we will be showing it later on, of course. Okay. But otherwise, all the other disasters are already in place, because we're trying to get this out to during this year still. So. Do
you have any kind of idea what that date will be, or is it?
It hasn't been set yet, but it's definitely going to be this year.
Okay, cool.
So very excited to get this to people as soon as possible. But yeah, so I have a lot of problems with basically road connections. So this is the emergency shelters. Bus route has been completely destroyed, and kind of trying to figure out like, where to start.
Oh God, so many pop-ups.
Yeah, but we'll be fine. nothing to worry about. People are paying taxes, and moving back to the city, so it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Making sure to keep my eyes open so we don't miss a meteor again, or whatever.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think
we missed a natural disaster.
Yeah, I mean we always can like basically call upon one to check it out.
Oh, I guess could you do that then? Maybe so, like, do you know which disaster was on its way?
Well, there's a cooldown period, so I don't want to call upon that one, but you can choose. Do you want to see a meteor strike or maybe a thunderstorm?
Have we seen the thunderstorm yet?
I don't think so. Let's
go for that.
Call upon a thunderstorm.
Oh God, I'm so sorry.
for all of those people.
So there's a countdown of 5 weeks, did that say, between?
Yeah, so basically there's a cooldown period, so you can't have like, with the
Is that so people don't break their computers by like spamming 70 meteor strikes at the same time?
Yes and no. I mean, it's also about kind of like the gameplay that, I mean, it might be rather
so that's also a
that
countdown for the sort of random nature.
Yeah, so it doesn't like appear to...
Right.
Okay, so now we're going to have a thunderstorm with a severity of 5.
Oh man.
Not evacuate. So the fires, or the lightning, will actually cause fires if they hit
oh God,
somewhere.
It's like, it's not even concentrated, it's just sort of anywhere.
The thunderstorm is about the size of one map tile.
Right.
So if you have a big city, then you can of course see it like in different places. But I think it's pretty cool, especially now it's during nighttime.
Yeah, that was definitely the right time to do it. The lighting's really cool.
So, and this is still something that we're still looking to improve in terms of like what effects it has in the city. But now it causes fires. You can see like where the it starts these small fires here. And we do have different city policies coming up that you can have like lightning rods and things like that to kind of mitigate the problems caused by the lightning. So. But it's a pretty cool looking thing, causing havoc. So we're still working a little bit on this one, but the visuals is kind of there already.
Sure.
So that's where we are with it now. But let's put a little bit of speed here and see if we can have the last.
I feel like you might be expecting a tsunami.
You may have
Perhaps.
guessed right, yeah. The annoying part with the tsunami is that it actually takes quite a long time to build up, and because it basically uses the dynamic water. Oh, and there we have it.
Oh, right.
You can see over here, finally. Yes. So let's have the...
So how do you defend against that? If you...
Well, basically, it is rather tricky to defend against a tsunami wave. But what you can do is that you can see from here, it will be basically taking down smaller buildings.
Right.
The bigger ones will survive. So putting something like like a residential area next to the coast where you might suspect that there's a tsunami coming might not be the best idea. And from here.
Let's go.
You can actually see, and the most terrible thing with the tsunami is that if it happens to come from an area where you actually have polluted water, that is like the worst.
No, why would you do that?
So now you can see the tsunami wave hitting the city, and it will basically take down buildings.
So have you seen the sort of the player created stuff where they've used dams to sort of do a little bit of this themselves?
And I can't wait to them to get their hands on this feature in a sense that they can then probably create quite massive things. And
there's going to be a lot of polluted water montage videos.
Yeah, exactly. I can't.
I just hope you're ready for that.
I can't wait to see those. But yeah, so basically what happens is that the cars are being washed away.
Oh, God.
So this is
man, this one's real bad.
Yeah, exactly.
I prefer the sinkhole.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that the sinkhole will now be basically filled with water and maybe a couple of cars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the tsunami wave is something that there is also going to be for flooding and also it takes a little while for the water to actually get anywhere from the area. Now we have...
Is the crater over there now?
The crater is full of water. So luckily I didn't have time to build that much there. But if there were any fires caused by the thunderstorm...
Don't try and sell the idea of a tsunami helping out here. That's not gonna...
Can you see any fires?
No, but like, I can't see any cars either because they're all
That
gone.
is true, that is true. But you know, and we can see we have lost massive amount of citizens, and that also affects the income, because basically...
There's water everywhere.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So, but this is basically what I had in this scenario to show.
Cool. Well, I think that's a pretty good place to leave it, to be honest. The tsunami was definitely the disaster to hold till the end.
Yeah, I think it's now we have a small lake. Maybe the palm trees kind of fit there really nicely, right?
Cool. Well, thank you so much, Mariina. I really appreciate this early look at natural disasters. It's going to be out sometime this year.
Yeah.
And even if you're not that fussed about natural disasters, which you probably should be after what we've just seen, there's also the scenario editor, which is coming to anyone and everyone that has Cities Skylines.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to see what people do with that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.